Good morning. Just a quick video today and some warnings for you about how to avoid losses. Well, this is my idea about laying the draw to try to reduce liability. Now, if you're in a match like this one, Hannover Hertha Berlin, Bundesliga 2, you're not happy with the league. It's just not the elite, is it? But you've got good in-play stats suggesting that draw will end. Of course it didn't. But you've got an out. So if you have a predetermined out, which in my case will be a third of liability as loss, what would that be for this? Answers on a postcard, please. You win 2 mince pies. There will be a mince pie tax of 1.5 mince pies, so apologies for that. It's the world we live in. 39 divided by 3 is 13. So if you're laying the draw second half and it's just not happening, you can buy yourself enough time for that to turn into a third of liability, which in my case for 40 quid is 13. But I've got a way to reduce that liability even further. That is to lay over 1.5 goals to win that liability amount there. What happens if you hit that 13 and you decide to cash out of this as well, and you'll reduce that liability even further to £8, which I think is an excellent way of laying the draw second half. If you want a get out, what we're trying to do, you see, is buy time, buy enough time for there to be a goal scored between this and when it gets to a third of liability. Hope that makes sense. So it's a nice discovery yesterday, something I'll flesh out more for members. It will just reduce your liability rather than taking a big hit, because this ended 0-0, by the way. Instead of taking a big hit like that, you could just reduce your liability and have that out. Don't forget, you can always get in again late on. So as you can see there, we hit our loss target. I got out of the over 1.5 goal late to win a fiver. I took a £12.61 hit here because we hit our loss of £13, which is a third of liability. Net loss of £8. I'll take that. It just gives you the confidence to get involved in many more of these lay the draws second halves, doesn't it? But yesterday was a barren day. I did warn you. Everton and Chelsea. Everton 0-0 against Arsenal. But their in-play stats were absolutely dominant in the first half, Chelsea. So I decided to, again, keep liability low while having an interest in the first half. 0-1 and 0-2 suits me fine. But it wasn't to be. And if you did lay the draw second half, I wouldn't have done that at all, given what Everton did to Arsenal. Leicester and Wolves. Well, given Leicester under Ruud van Nistelrooy have had a couple of major comebacks, scoring about 5 goals in 2 matches at home, didn't they? And particularly one comeback from 1-3 to 3-3, laying Wolves at 0-3 again in a difficult day for trading. Keep my liability as low as possible. It wasn't to be. Leicester look to have been exposed now in the last 2 matches. Ruud van Nistelrooy is not the saviour they think he is at all. He has no past history of management, does he? Manchester United, I did warn you in the message, more fool me if this does not come in. I need to get a haircut like Teresa Caputo's, because I am psychic. Cost me a fair whack this, trusting a Manchester side again. But to be totally honest with you, Manchester United were competitive. The match pivoted on a penalty. We can't legislate for that at all. But here at footballtradingprofits.com, you will make a loss. Sorry about that. I'm not a YouTube creator who magically always makes win. Because I live in the real world. I play with real money in real markets. These are real matches. and you will have the odd penalty given away by Mazraoui, who for me doesn't look like a Manchester United player or of the quality you'd expect of a Manchester United team. Like Casemiro as well. Why on earth do you sign that? He's had his day at Real Madrid. It's a strange club. So we made a full loss there. But if you've made a loss during a trading session, make sure that you, as your mum used to tell you, clean up your greens. Okay. Venezia Cagliari. I like this late lay. Venezia 2-0 up. Conceded a late goal to Cagliari. Cagliari's in-play stats were brilliant coming to the end of the match. Newly promoted sides tend to be targeted by me. 100 plus on the attacking pressure index. What am I talking about there? Well, I use inplayguru.com, and when you get the attacking pressure index hitting 100, it's a very clever equation. That normally signals a goal. So I got involved 109, 106. Cost you about £3.99 to win 55 quid. Now for me, that's a good risk reward. Wasn't to be, because of course the clock is not our friend, is it? If we're getting involved at these kind of odds. Sampdoria and Cremonese. Delighted with this one. Got involved here. I think this was in the half-time market, yes. We dipped our toe in because Cremonese were just absolutely dominating this match from start to finish. Got involved in the first half market because, again, that 100 plus in the attacking pressure index, as you can see for my Telegram members below. But time is not our friend. That's why we're getting 109, 106. You see that pattern. Keep your liability low, but have an interest if there's a late goal. What did I show you here? Well, looks as if this is what I'm talking about. 100 plus on the attacking pressure index normally suggests a goal, but Sampdoria are leading. So second half, half-time likely to get us, as I said. There's 17 shots and 6 corners in the first half. Unbelievable, Jeff. So get involved second half. Okay. And that would have rewarded us. Panathinaikos and Kalithea. Well, we go back to this. 1.17 pre-match favourite against the red-carded side. You're expecting 3 goals at least. But no, too many mince pies for Panathinaikos. They only won 1-0. But again, on a difficult day, keep my liability as low as possible. If we keep chugging along, the profits will come, as they came here with Empoli, who did make it 2-1 and then 2-2. But we got out before half-time. Please take your greens if you've had that loss on Manchester United earlier on. Cremonese, I remind you about. If you've got an in-play stats feed, you can see it stands out like a sore thumb. Absolute dominant. I did look at their stats at soccerstats.com. Pretty poor season, but you've got to weigh this up. Got the equaliser, so I hope you got involved second half. Take that. That takes half of your lost liability on the Man United match. So it's vitally important that you take your green screens as early as possible when you've had a loss earlier on in the session. Atalanta came from a goal down. Again, add 23 to 21, and that's 44 quid. That's nearly the whole of the Manchester United liability down and back. And you might just call it a break-even session for the day. It's frustrating because we put some work and some hours in, but we can't always get the £100+ profits like I've been delivering on Saturday and on Thursday. Very frustrating Sunday. Dortmund, might as well lay them. They weren't expected to win, and Wolfsburg did have a goal back to make it 1-3. 85th minute, I thought that was a really good value. Again, in-play stats. You wouldn't see it here because we were looking a bit later in the match. Wolfsburg and Dortmund, this is a bit earlier on at 0-2. But when it came to the 89th minute, they were showing this kind of form. It was, as I say, it would have been a miracle of a semi-religious nature had Wolfsburg got out of this one. But again, costing you 2 quid, what's the worry? So we ended up okay at the end of this. if you've got that Atalanta win and the Cremonese equaliser in the second half. Don't forget to take your greens when you've had a loss earlier on. We've got that great discovery now that we can lay the draw second half and limit our liability even further if we've got that get out at a third of liability as loss. Now you can change that, of course, to a quarter of liability as loss. That will be a tenner for a £40 stake. There is actually some interesting football today, as you can see. So I've done the research for members of footballtradingprofits.com. Crawley and Birmingham. Well, let's have a quick look through that. And I won't be doing any videos for the next 2 days. 3 days. No, 2 days. Tuesday, Wednesday. And if you get this at soccerstats.com, I use Microsoft Edge without an ad blocker. Soccer Stats is so important, we're going to have to give them their adverts. So we're looking at Crawley and Birmingham. All right, mate. How you doing, mate? Oh, I'm all right, mate. And you? Yeah, I'm all right, mate. We're playing Crawley today, mate. You going to win, mate? Oh, I don't know, mate. You know what I mean? So let's have a look at this one. English League 1. Premier League Championship. English League 1. Crawley and Brum. It's important to know the pre-match odds as well. I didn't have them at Soccer Stats because I'm going through a VPN, which takes me to France, which is only an hour away. I might be going to France before I go back to Thailand. That would be wonderful. Do a live stream from France. Bonjour, Rodders. Bonjour. Crawley don't look that hot, do they? Only 5 wins all season. Only 3 wins since the 24th of August. But they're on a good run at the moment. They were unbeaten in 5 until Peterborough scored 1 more than you in that last match. So they're looking competitive, Crawley Town. But again, it's all about context. And that context will come via the challenge table. Birmingham, mate, they're looking great. Yeah, they're looking really good, mate. You know what I mean? Like, we've only lost to Charlton and Shrews, mate. Yeah, all right, mate. You're on 4 consecutive wins, mate. Yeah, scoring 2 goals, mate. You know what I mean? Like, so superb stuff for the Brum fans. Having a good time of it. No defeat in 3 at home, though. So they're meeting a Crawley Town on a bit of form, but Brum have scored in their last 9, scored in the last 5 away, scored 2+ goals in the last 5 matches as well. This has the feel of the possibility of if Crawley score, Birmingham can respond. They're second in the league. Crawley have not played the top 3, but they have had positive results against 4th, 5th and 6th. But maybe that's a step up. We don't know. Like Everton against the top 4. Until that Arsenal match, we didn't know the 0-0 itis. Now they've confirmed that against Chelsea. And they could have actually won that match as well. So we don't know how Crawley will get on against the top 3. You can infer, them being 21st, Birmingham being 2nd, that Birmingham are favoured quite clearly. The fact they're only losing by a single goal suggests they'll be competitive if they concede the first goal. That is the only time, it seems, that they've conceded 3 goals. 3 goals, away. Conceded 2 goals twice, one against First, one against 24. So really contrasting. But was that early season? Was that an early season aberration? Let's have a look. Well, it wasn't. It was fairly recent. And it looked like a poor performance from Birmingham, their second goal being a penalty. So we'll have to look out for that. But on paper, if you're scoring 2+ goals regularly enough, and if you're beating teams above your opponent in the league, 21st, got all of those wins there, then surely logic suggests Birmingham favoured today. But they did throw in that wobbly against Shrewsbury and very recently. Over 2.5 goal merchants, well, it's going to be 50-50, isn't it? 56% there. But if it is 0-0 at half time, look at these stats. 100% overs, 100% over 0.5 goals. Looking at goal times as well can be an important angle for you. Second half biased for Crawley Town. Not so, about 50-50 for Birmingham. So on paper, I don't know what the odds are So it's interesting when you do this kind of research without knowing the odds. Do you agree with the market? I think Birmingham would be favoured here. I have done the research for members, so you're all welcome to that. Greek Super League I've done for members as well. Italian Serie A, the Eredivisie. Don't forget the Professional Development League, over 2.5 goals. What you do with that, we don't have the odds here, which is a pity because I wanted to show you the over 2.5 goal odds. Probably going to be about 1.3, so you delay to get a good entry point. Not very appealing on paper, these two. I prefer Olympiacos, Panathinaikos, AEK Athens. Fiorentina, winning machines. Did lose to Bologna, but note the odds in that Bologna match. The market was telling you it was going to be a tough match against Bologna. So take what the market says. 2.65 the favourite. Keep repeating, don't I? The market can't tell you the winner. So both sides are given a shout, and Bologna getting the win, ending what has been a quite superb run of wins for Fiorentina. Now they're priced to win again today. So bear that in mind. This is likely to be a massacre. Although Como got a late 2-goal win against the Tinkerman's Roma. They'll be delighted with that. Last match, very, very late goals. So expect Cesc Fabregas' side to pack that defence as they did against Roma, but with home advantage, try to nick a couple of late winners. I don't expect it today. I expect a comfortable home win. 1.25 does suggest at least a goal before half-time. So if it is 0-0 after 20 minutes, I tend towards 1-0, 2-0, any unquoted in the half-time score market. Elsewhere, it's much of a muchness today. It's my day off today. I'm looking after my parents today. Got to take my mum out. She's delivering hampers to the old priests down into town, like the old Irish priests. She's got a nice bottle of bubbly for them as well. They're a bit like Father Ted, the priest in Guernsey. Like a nice bit of bubbly, nice bit of pate. You know what I mean? Benfica Estoril 1.07. So normally that suggests any 3 scorelines between 4-0 and 9-0. So pick your bag out. Victoria Guimara has been ultra reliable. They are one of my shortlisters, along with Fiorentina, Atletico Bilbao, reliables. Unreliables, the 2 bloody Manchester sides. Absolute tools, both of them. There is something clearly amiss at Manchester United that bringing in a new manager will not change. You're signing, as I said earlier, signing people like Casemiro, even Eriksen. He's past his sell-by date when they bought him. Inexplicable signings. Fergie built his team on youth. Strange stuff. I wish I was paid 150,000 a week to be making bad decisions. Well, I did yesterday, but I wasn't being paid £150,000 a week to lose money in a Manchester United match. So that's it today. You won't be hearing from me tomorrow. It's mostly African leagues and other world leagues. So you're not going to be hearing anything there. I'm going to do research for you on Thursday. English Premier League and Championship will be prioritised. I'm not sure I'll be able to do the research for League One. But look at it. It's a full coupon. Italian Serie B, full team coupon. Full coupon League One. Full coupon Championship. Full coupon Premier League. My brother's coming round with his 2 sons on Boxing Day. And again, my dad is getting worse with his mobility issues. So we're going to have to take time off and look after him. So I'm sure you'll excuse me Boxing Day. You've probably got things to do yourself, like watching Die Hard or Raiders of the Lost Ark or It's a Wonderful Life or some Christmas special with Ant and Dec. Oh, God. Somebody save me from Ant and Dec. So that's it. All it remains for me to say is thank you very much for your custom members of footballtradingprofits.com throughout 2024. We're making key distinctions each week. Now we've got a really good one for the lay of the draw to limit your liability there and have the confidence to lay draws with full liability now, knowing you've got an exit point, which is just going to be a very small loss if that goal doesn't arrive. And we got away with it yesterday. I told you that Southampton would respond to being spanked. And they did respond, didn't they? By keeping a clean sheet. So do watch out for that. If you've been tonked in your previous match, there's a sudden lurch towards an over-defensive bent. And we saw that with the Saints yesterday. So watch out for that. Look, 5 goals here. Sudden tightening of the ship because of that. The Liverpool match, well, I did say it could be the 3-3 like we saw Liverpool and Newcastle, but what a treat for the fans that was. Of course, this pivoted on the penalties, we know, and you know what this lot now do. Just before I go, you see the importance of the challenge table now. What are you going to do when Everton play another top 5 side? You're not going to do anything because it's highly likely they're going to be packing that defence. 0-0, 0-0. Okay, quite clear pattern. Could remain against the top 4 as well, but I think Nottingham Forest will be the weak link here as far as that 0-0. And Everton were nearly there with the win as well. All it remains for me to say is have a great Christmas to you and your family. And I probably won't be seeing you on Thursday, but I'll do the research for members. I just hope I can do trading for you. Days like Thursday are wonderful for traders because you've got a huge volume of matches kicking off at the same time. It's very efficient. You can do a session from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock. You've got so many matches, and with so many matches, you can pick the quality out. So I would have looked forward to that on Thursday. I do hope I can join in. My brother's about as reliable. My other brother, about as reliable as an Arthur Daily motor. So he says he's going to come Boxing Day. Proof of the pudding is in the eating. Have a great Christmas. I'll see you again on Thursday.